Good morning, good morning. We're going live for our Self-Care Sunday. Gosh, it's been a while. It has been a while. Come and join. Hello, who's just joined? I need to put my glasses on. Karen, good morning. Jenny, good morning, good morning. So yes, it's a live Self-Care Sunday and I've moved location to the living room. Hope you're doing well. It's been a while, like I said, for even a self-care Sunday, let alone a live one. Good morning, Reiki Carol. You're going to love this today. It's all about mushrooms in midlife, but not only midlife, because I've actually had loads of questions from you guys about ADHD in children. And we're speaking to an amazing lady called Sophie Barrett, and she is a medical herbalist and a naturopath. And she's going to be coming live from Terras. That's the mushroom company from Spain. She's going to be coming live from their Instagram account this morning to talk all about it. It's going to be obviously questions from you, which you can ask today, questions that I've already got from you that you submitted kindly in the week, and then just talking about getting our sleep in balance, midlife issues that us ladies have and men, getting our brains, sleep, body, everything. So we are going to get Sophie on. Let me get my specs on and invite her. The Fusion Florist just said, oh my goodness, can she help with autistic children? We're going to speak to Sophie. She is amazing. Good morning, Gemma. Gemma's got amazing mushrooms too, but we're focusing this morning on Terras. So let's see. I haven't done this for so long. How do I request? Let's find Sophie. We had a little moment yesterday when we were talking. We were like, we haven't done a live for so long. Is this actually going to work? So here, maybe she's already looked here. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have a look if she has already requested to join. Because like I said, I feel like a little popping my live cherry this morning because I haven't done it for so long. Right, let's have a look. It's not coming up. Why is that? That's annoying. Come on. Let's find Terras and just make sure that she's coming live from that account. Where are you? Dear Sophie. She's an incredible woman, and I feel like we're only just gonna like scratch the surface. Oh, that's not worked. Okay, let me find you. Where are you? Okay, hold please, people. Hold please. We will do this. So ironic that we said, I wonder if it's gonna work. And I can't find it. It's not popping up, which is doing my head in. Okay, I'm going to try and invite Sophie. She needs to request to join. Thank you for teaching me again, because I am a bit rusty with this. All right, so if you need to request to join, because I cannot find you on here, so you need to request, and that is the little plus sign that's down the bottom here. Let's see, I've had a couple of requests, but not from Sophie. Good morning, Dr. Glynn, Ready Spa, amazing. Mama Shrooms, good morning. It's all about the shrooms today. We're talking mushrooms, not the magic kind. We're talking medical mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms, and how this is going to help us in midlife and beyond. Okay, everybody's saying, Soph, if you're there, that you need to request. And that is down at the bottom there. Oh, one's just popped up. Let's see. Yay! Waiting patiently. Bingo! Come on. Come on, connect.
Hi, sorry. I'm in.
We had that conversation saying it's not going to work. And anyway, a little bit sticky. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad I took some mushrooms this morning to keep me calm.
Lots of mushrooms before any food today, just to settle you and keep you calm. Thank you so much for joining. Everybody was amazing. They were like, she needs to request. Anyway, this is Sophie Barrett, everybody, an amazing woman. You're a medical herbalist and a naturopath. And this brand, Ifas de Terras, is a beautiful Spanish brand that's been around for 25 years. You are the font of all knowledge when it comes to mushrooms and their healing powers. And I just wanted you to come on and sort of just give us an education on it, because I know that not all mushrooms are created equally, and mushrooms are having a bit of they're having a moment. You know, there's loads of different brands out there. There's loads of different ways you can take it. But because they're not all created equally, it's really about getting the products that have been around the longest and that are, you know, extracted in the right way.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that they are having such a moment. And for everyone watching, they've been used for hundreds of thousands of years in ancient cultures, particularly in traditional Chinese medicine. So we've got all of this traditional use, and now modern science is catching up, really. And we've got incredible studies being done. Ifas de Terra has actually got 15 ongoing trials at the moment, 2 in oncology. And science is coming out all the time to show the properties that these functional mushrooms have. And for midlife in particular, they're incredibly supportive. So we can go through the different mushrooms.
Loads of questions coming in already, Sophie,
yeah.
and I know that you are going to try and answer some of those questions, and also the ones that were sent through to us throughout the week as well. Some really interesting, brilliant questions. So we're going to try and touch on as many as we can. But yeah, let's talk through kind of your first go-to mushroom product that you would say would help with pretty much everything, that would help with kind of balancing our equilibrium, keeping us calm in midlife, and those moments when we're kind of flapping a little bit, trying to get our sleep in balance as well. So kind of like a blend that would work for everything.
Absolutely. So the amazing things about functional mushrooms are they work in harmony with other mushrooms, other mushroom strains and botanicals and herbs. So the 3 mushrooms that really have this balancing effect that is great for midlife, that's great for stress, that's great for sleep, that's great for brain function. The 3 mushrooms that are my go-to are Cordyceps for energy and vitality, Lion's Mane, which is certainly the mushroom that people seem to know about, that's trending for gut and brain health.
Yeah.
And then Reishi. So Reishi is my number one. I'm slightly biased towards Reishi because it contains so many bioactive compounds, over 400 bioactive compounds, and it's very good for stress, for skin, for sleep. So in 2 formulas that Ifas de Terra have that contain those 3 mushrooms that have this really balancing synergistic effect. You've firstly got Optimum, which is a great well-being, all-round beauty complete formula. And then you've also got Ifas Equilibrium, which contains just those 3 mushrooms in powder form and in extract form. So you're going to get the benefits from the mushroom powder because mushrooms are great prebiotics. So they feed the good bacteria in our gut, and they work with the native bacteria, which is what we've all got, and we've got different species. And you know, in the media and in science at the moment, there's a huge focus on gut health and the knock-on effect improving gut health has on the brain. So the key mushroom that a lot of people know about for that, and science has backed up, is Lion's Mane. And Lion's Mane is in both Optimum and Ifas Equilibrium alongside Cordyceps and alongside Reishi.
So I'm taking Optimal, which comes like this in this little sachet, but actually you get this beautiful glass bottle. So it's really lovely to have by your bedside table. So you get these green pills that pop into here. And I take 2 of those pills before I have any food in the morning. So I've got a bit of my routine. A lot of people know I do. I also take my gut health strain as well alongside this because, you know, like you said, this feeds the good bacteria. It has a little party with all of the microbiome that's already there, and then it creates even more. So you get this beautiful glass, beautiful like little with your Optimal, and that comes with the first order, does it, Sophie?
That comes with the first order. So you get your beautiful glass bottle to remind you to take it, because that's the thing, is functional mushrooms work over time and with consistency. It's not just pop a pill, job done. It's really about taking it and being consistent every day to get the beta-glucans. So this is a really important polysaccharide that's in functional mushrooms that is going to bring about this adaptogenic quality. And that's the thing, is functional mushrooms, at the end of the day, they're adaptogens. So they help us adapt to the stresses of modern life and bring us back into balance. So that's why it's very safe to take them in the long term, because they're constantly bringing us back into balance, bringing us back into something called homeostasis, which basically allows the body to function optimally, hence the name optimum. So yeah, then you can order the refills, like you say, you should, the sachet, because EFAS is such an environmentally they put the environment first, so that's why it's a glass bottle, and then it's refills.
Top up more refills.
And great for travel actually as well. If you're one of those people where you don't want to take loads of stuff in your hand luggage, then because there is prebiotics, probiotics, algae, a little bit of marine collagen, and some botanicals like elderflower and afron in here, then it's a kind of do it all formula to save you kind of taking loads, and really good to start on this as a female, get on it early doors.
But also there's a couple of guys saying, is it okay for guys, because George takes these mushrooms alongside me. I'm always like, 2 for me, 2 for him, and then we do 2 of the equilibrium as well in the morning. So we do 2 and 2.
Yeah.
And it's fine for men. It's not, the live isn't just for, this is mushrooms in midlife, whether you're a man or a woman.
Absolutely.
Obviously my community, I focus on a lot of women's care, women's health care, but it's for everyone. And I know we're going to touch on kids later as well, just a little bit, because you do specialize in children as well, don't you, within your practice? So we'll talk about that, because ADHD came up a lot in the questions that I threw out to you guys to ask. A lot of women are being diagnosed with ADHD in midlife, and then obviously children too. So we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about it with equilibrium. Maybe that's the one that would be a brilliant one to take for all ages.
Definitely. So EFAS Equilibrium, and I'm really glad you brought up the male-female thing, because actually my husband takes EFAS Equilibrium, and he does really well on it, because he doesn't want to buy the standalone strains of mushrooms by themselves. And again, EFAS Equilibrium is 2 capsules in the morning on an empty stomach. You can eat 15 minutes later. And we say this because EFAS have worked so hard with the bioavailability and the absorbency of the mushrooms. So they've added natural vitamin C into the product, which is what you need to really assimilate these beta-glucans to bring about this adaptogenic immunomodulatory effect. And it's a great one for men just as much as women. It's very much a multitasking formula for those busy people who have to do it all, juggle it all, want to remain focused, have a clear mind, have good memory recall as we age. These functional mushrooms are really pro-aging because they're anti-inflammatory, they're antioxidant. So yeah, again, EFAS Equilibrium is a really great formula that's going to have these immunomodulatory properties. So it's almost like they're priming the immune system. It's not like the immune system has to be, on the go all the time, but it's alert, it's ready, it's primed, it's nourished. And that's what Cordyceps and Reishi in those formulas do alongside the Lion's Mane.
This is amazing. Okay, just a quick one. Okay, so the brand, if you click at the top, you'll see Sophie's come live from Ifas de Terras, which is a Spanish brand. It looks like this. If you go onto the website and you're too impatient to watch this live and you want to start shopping, the code is Lisa10, all capitals, and that will get you 10% off. There's also some amazing people within the website that can help you, direct you, guide you a little bit further if there's any other questions you want. But Lisa10 will get you the 10% discount. Okay, so in here you've got the Reishi and you've got the Cordyceps and you've got the Lion's Mane too in the equilibrium.
You have, and so the Reishi is going to be really anti-stress. It's going to be really calming, really soothing, and you can actually take it on its own. You can take myco-ray, which is a concentrated extract of reishi. So for instance, if you had issues with sleep, you could take the reishi 30 minutes before bedtime to really help with sleep. And Ifesta Terra have done studies on sleep, stress, and anxiety. So it has this really calming, soothing effect. I actually take reishi in a formula called mycovir, which is great for the immune system. So this is concentrated extract of reishi alongside concentrated extract of cordyceps. So I'm taking my reishi in the morning to calm me down, to allow me to focus. So reishi is a great one for people who might have rising anxiety as they're going through perimenopause and into menopause. And reishi has this lovely, calming, soothing, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant effect. And I know, Lisa, you also got a few questions about, you know, people who have arthritic conditions and pain in the body. And reishi has this lovely analgesic quality. So it's going to bring down the inflammation. There's lots of studies and science on it, and it's going to help with pain relief as well. So
would you recommend that reishi that you have on its own rather than doing it in a blend like the Equilibrium or the Optimal? Like what would you say if somebody's going onto the website today and they are suffering with pain, or you know, like there's one lady here that says, are they safe to use if you have an autoimmune illness? So she basically is on strong meds like morphine. She's got pain from her spinal stenosis, her inflammatory arthritis. And so there's a lot of things going on in the body, and she's taking painkillers. But the mushrooms alongside these things are brilliant because they don't affect, they what did you say? They bypass the liver.
Yes.
You tell me.
So this is the really important distinction. And again, you know, when you started off at the beginning about not all mushrooms are created equally, the mushroom marketplace has exploded. There's so many different brands out there. We know at Ifesta Terra because we have this study called the Medina trial, which shows that the Ifesta Terra concentrated extracts of the medicinal mushrooms used by Ifesta Terra, they don't interact with the drug liver pathway. So this gives me confidence as a practitioner that I can use these concentrated extracts alongside conventional medicines, and they're not going to push the medications out the body too quickly, too soon. And that's why Ifesta Terra have been able to go on and make these very concentrated extracts, because we know they're not going to affect the drug liver pathway. We can't say that for everyone, but at least we can say that for Ifesta Terra. And as a herbalist, that gives me real confidence that I can use their extracts, you know, confidently and safely alongside other medications. There are a few contraindications that people need to be aware of. So again, if you do have these chronic conditions, it's always worth taking advice from your specialist practitioner and working with your GP and your practitioner in conjunction, because medicinal mushrooms have such a balancing effect that if you're on other medications, for instance, anti-diabetic medications, blood pressure medications, it could be that the mushrooms are going to bring you back into balance, and you may need to work with your existing practitioner
to get those levels back.
Exactly.
Okay.
The other thing I must say about reishi and the concentrated extract of reishi is, in theory, reishi has a blood thinning effect. So we wouldn't prescribe it or recommend it alongside any blood thinners. And we would say, in line with other certain blood thinning medications, that you would need to stop it before any surgery, even a tooth extraction. And that's just the concentrated extract of reishi.
So that's not the blend in the Equilibrium. That's not the blend from the Optimum.
There's a little bit of reishi in there in concentrated extract, but it's not a strong standalone formula like the myco-ray, for instance. So yeah, it's always best if you've got these chronic conditions to seek advice. But from an autoimmune standpoint, that's where medicinal mushrooms can be so helpful, because they're modulating the immune system. So again, I know you brought up this question, and if you're on very, very strong medications that's suppressing the immune system, the mushrooms are going to be really helpful. They're going to really help fortify the immune system, and they're not going to be fighting with those medications. They're not going to be stimulating the immune system. They're just going to be modulating the immune system. So they can be
Calming,
really
working
helpful.
to calm the immune system.
Yes.
Deborah's asking, where do I find a mushroom practitioner? I mean, obviously people can come to you. I will tag, actually on my stories earlier, I tagged Sophie on her social. So you can find Sophie and you can, I don't know if you mind pinging, they can ping questions to you. And then on the IFAS website, there's obviously,
There's so much information. You're going to find lots of reference studies, and EFAS are constantly training and working with practitioners. So I think now we've trained over about 5,000, 6,000, maybe even more practitioners in the UK, nutritionists, herbalists, acupuncturists, GPs, functional medicine doctors. We're constantly training. So you can always write into the EFAS doTERRA customer care team. There's a biomedical support email address, and they will point you in the right direction. They will help you find a practitioner to work with. And
brilliant.
even if you're, watching from Europe or the Middle East or wherever, EFAS work with over 18,000 practitioners all around Europe and further field. So you will find someone specialized, trained, who can give you the guidance for those chronic conditions.
Brilliant. So just for the lady that has, it's safe to use autoimmune illness. She's got all this pain and lots of inflammation in her body due to arthritis and the pain from stenosis in her spine. What one would you say that would be good for her?
Yeah. So this is the thing. I've looked at her case and the medications you're on, and one of those medications is particularly strong that suppresses the immune
That's
system.
the Humara. She's on Humara each week, which is Humara biological therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in this case, the immune system is being suppressed. So anyone taking this conventional medicine will be more susceptible to fungi, viruses, infections. And this is where the quality of the medicinal mushroom is so important, because you can't be taking any functional mushroom product that has contamination. So you have to make sure you're taking a very clean GMP certified organic product.
And that's what this is, and that's why we're passionate about IFAS doTERRA, because that is
distinction. It's a really important distinction. You can't just walk into a health food store and choose any mushroom product. You've got to make sure it's certified organic and GMP certified. So there's full traceability, that there's no heavy metals in there, there's no contaminants, there's no mycotoxins. And I'll quickly explain the organic side of things, because mushrooms are like sponges. They're chelators. So if there's any runoff, pollutants, pesticides in the soil, that lovely mushroom is going to pick it up, because they're gentle detoxifiers, and become a toxic product. So that's why you have to look for a brand that isn't just saying they're organic. They have to have the soil certification, the European certification, that they are truly organic.
Okay, really important, guys. That's why we're bringing this to you. This is, remember, 25 years that IFAS doTERRA have been in the market for mushrooms, and they know their stuff. So let's have a look. ADHD. Somebody's asked about the 18-year-old teenager. Now, I know that when we had our first chat, you mentioned ADHD, not just in teenagers or adults, but also in children. I know we're focusing on midlife, but I think that this could be a little bit of a lifesaver for lots of mums and dads out there.
Absolutely.
If their child's got ADHD and they perhaps don't want to go down the conventional route of the Western medicine. So what would you say? What would you recommend?
Okay, so there's 2 or 3 different mushrooms you can turn to, depending on how your ADHD is presenting in that person, whether they're a young child, a teenager, or an adult. My go-to medicinal mushrooms for ADHD are always reishi first, to help calm, bring down any inflammation in the body that may be aggravating the ADHD, and allow them to focus. And also, a lot of people with ADHD will be having trouble with sleep and sleep disturbances. So reishi #1, and that pairs beautifully with lion's mane. So I've actually got the lion's mane powder here. So IFAS doTERRA do these superfood powders, which are micronized mushrooms, so they're not concentrated extracts. So they're great for like 8 years and upwards to add to smoothies, soup, stews, drinks, they're completely heat stable. So lion's mane in its prebiotic form as the powder is going to feed the good gut microbes. And what we want to do with candidates who have ADHD is we want to correct any imbalances in the gut microbiome, because this has such a positive knock-on effect on brain function. So reishi and lion's mane, again, we say in people 14 years and above. So again, I don't know how old this candidate is.
Was 18-year-old, her 18-year-old teenager in this particular question that came
so
in, yeah.
he would be fine to have a concentrated extract. So our bestseller in Ethos de Terra across the business is the concentrated extract of lion's mane Myco Leo. It quickly became our bestseller. It used to be Myco Reishi. But you could use these two concentrated extracts together, the Myco Ray and the Myco Leo, to really help allow that person to be calm, to focus, and to improve brain function. In some instances, people do add Cordyceps, the third mushroom we've talked about. If you feel these people need more impetus, they need more energy, you know, and they need to kind of have more action, then Cordyceps is the one that you can use to kind of spring people into action. So again, you've got lots and lots of different options, but definitely reishi and lion's mane. And in teenagers 14 and above, you can use the concentrated extracts.
I mean, that sounds amazing. I think for many of my ladies, I'm sure you're listening now, we all need that extra impetus. We need that extra oomph. You know, we're feeling really sluggish. We're feeling really, even if we haven't been diagnosed with ADHD, it's that sort of, we're sluggish, we're tired. It's like we need that extra oomph. So that would be really great. But I mean, I already feel like I'm getting that from taking my equilibrium and my optimum. And I'm, you know, if we'd grab George from upstairs, I'm sure that he'd feel the same. But there's so many different ones. There's the detox that we haven't been able to talk about. There's this one, which I'm about to start, which is the Myco 5, which has got 5 different mushrooms, and that's specifically for the immune system, right? At this time of the year.
Yes, so we have all of this scientific research that mushrooms work synergistically and they enhance their immune capabilities together. So that's why Myco 5 is such a good synergistic formula for immune health, immune support. So anyone who's struggling with repeat infections, you know, having more than one cold or more than one flu a year,
That's me.
Immune 5 is really going to strengthen the immune system, help modulate your immune response. There's fantastic other mushrooms in there like shiitake. So, you know, there's so much to say. I don't know how much time we've got.
I know we haven't got much time, but I'm taking all of these together. That's absolutely fine, isn't it?
That's fine.
I'm not,
but what I would say is you can build up slowly. So, you know, everyone is different. And some people will be very sensitive. So my advice is to start off slowly with 1 capsule and 1 formula and 1 extract. And because a lot of these synergies are in concentrated extract form, they are powerful. You know, working up to 2 capsules in some cases is going to be all you need.
Okay. And then if you're not keen on the capsules, you can always open them up and put them into your smoothie, into your tea. As Sophie said, they're not heat sensitive, so you can open them up if you really don't like taking capsules, and you can pop them or just take them on an empty stomach, or add them to your smoothies, your soups, your coffee, or whatever you want, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And there are a few liquid formulas within the range. So there's the syrups for children, the pediatric syrups, and really working with functional mushrooms in children, as long as there's no pre-existing mushroom allergies. So obviously with adults, they've probably tried a culinary mushroom, but with children, the parent does need to try the child on a cooked culinary mushroom. It could be a white button mushroom, a chestnut mushroom, just to make sure there's no pre-existing allergy. And then there are syrups that the children can take, and as they grow older and they get more comfortable with taking capsules, they can move through the different ranges. But I quickly wanted to mention a product that I take called Ethos Lentinin, which I'm taking for the oral microbiome as well as my immune health. And now the science is showing so much that the oral microbiome is linked to the brain microbiome and brain health. So again, if you don't like taking capsules and you don't, for instance, want to take the Myco 5 for immune support, you have got the option of taking this liquid dropper
Can I
format
see
that has no,
that? Can I see that? Can I see it close up? So,
so it has no
okay.
alcohol in it. It's just in pure water, and it's a molecule of shiitake. And shiitake's been used in the Far East for its almost antibiotic-like qualities. So they use it in toothpaste. It has this antifungal quality, so it's very useful for things like oral candida. And it's going to have a knock-on effect. If you improve the oral microbiome and the gut microbiome, it's going to have a knock-on effect on your overall health. So there are some very interesting different products out there available in different formats.
We've got so many questions, and there's so many that. So yes, the mushroom allergy that's come up. Make sure if you have a mushroom allergy with any of your like shiitake, button mushroom, chestnut mushrooms, then that probably is a red flag as to not be able to take these mushrooms.
Yeah.
And then somebody said about antidepressants. Now I know that that's obviously specialized,
Yes.
and it's probably like you said, if somebody's on blood pressure medication, if you're taking the blood pressure, then you're taking the mushrooms, your blood pressure is obviously going to equal out and lower and become a better level, but you have to manage that because it's going to be
Absolutely.
moving depending on what you're taking and have to be checked by your healthcare professional,
Yeah,
right?
always work with your practitioner. If you're on these conventional medicines and you're on them long term, it's really important to work with a specialist practitioner. I do have a lot of people struggling with mental health within my clinic because these mushrooms that we've talked about have these mood boosting, mood stabilizing qualities. So lion's mane is well known for this, and so is actually cordyceps. And, you know, particularly with a mushroom like reishi, if we're able to correct sleep in individuals, we know that this has a knock-on effect on people's emotional health, their mental health, and their
Everything.
overall health.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are so many options. And I think this is why in lots of cases it's best to work with a practitioner so they can really look at your individual case and work out what is right for you. But there's a lot of options out there.
It makes sense. You're getting your gut healthy, your brain healthy, that gut brain connection. And these mushrooms can really, really help in every area of your life. I know we've just really just touched the surface, like just of what they can do. And I know that there's lots of other questions, but I think the fact, can you take them with magnesium and collagen? Absolutely. You can take them pretty much with like all of your supplements already, can't you? So if they don't interfere at all. And as
You
you said,
can.
with with your medicines as
You
well.
can. I mean, there was a really good question, wasn't there, about what do they replace in your like
Yes, that was the
daily
other one.
wellness
What do
routine?
they replace? What would they replace in your daily
They
routine?
really complement and they really enhance. So it's not that they have to replace something that you're already doing, but an important point to make is if you're working with functional mushrooms, good quality functional mushrooms over time, they're going to correct these imbalances and they're going to particularly work on gut health. And once you improve gut health, the gut lining, the absorbency, you're going to be able to get more nutrients from your food. And that's where you might then realize you don't have to supplement in X, Y, and Z because you're able to then absorb more nutrients from your food. So this, you know, there's huge potential here.
Okay, this is my last question. I promise, Your Honour. So this was a question that came in, and actually it came in from quite a few ladies. The best for mushrooms for thyroid health.
Sure. Okay. So there's been some really interesting studies on how medicinal mushrooms, good quality extracts, can support thyroid health, whether you're hypo or hyper. So whether you've got Hashimoto's or Graves, a really interesting study was done with Cordyceps for this immune modulation, and it actually brought the thyroid back into balance, whether you were low or high. So in my clinic, I do work a lot with cordyceps and reishi. And the reason I'm doing this is because often there's a lot of inflammation involved with, say, low thyroid. So reishi can be really helpful to bring down that inflammation. And both cordyceps and reishi also have these antiviral qualities. So certainly there'll be practitioners out there that work with cordyceps and reishi, particularly if you've got low thyroid and low metabolism. Cordyceps is really going to help with energy, and reishi is really going to help if stress is a component. And then there are other mushrooms that have this immunomodulatory effect. In synergy, we're talking shiitake, maitake, etc., that work very well with reishi. So different practitioners will have different approaches, and again, we would have to work with you on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, but amazing. It's really going to help. Okay, that's fantastic. I think that's all we've got time for, but I guess what would be good, if you guys have got any follow-up questions, we could always do a catch-up with Sophie and just revisit. And then obviously I'm going to tag Sophie. I'm going to save this live. So many of you saying, I've missed some of it. Can you save it? I'm going to absolutely save it. I'm going to tag Ifas to Teras will be on their page, hopefully, as well as Sophie. And yes, remember, Lisa 10 will give you the 10% discount. And any questions, just go over to Sophie. There's so many things coming in. What are the difference between the equilibrium and the optimum? It's just the different blends, isn't it? The optimum's more of
Yes,
your beauty one. It's more of your beauty. It's like, it's got loads of lovely things in it, as well as your
exactly.
cordyceps, your reishi, and your lion's mane.
Exactly.
Um,
The equilibrium is just focusing on the mushrooms. So you're getting the prebiotic lion's mane powder alongside the extract plus reishi and
yeah.
cordyceps. So equilibrium is more targeted in terms of mushrooms, and optimum is more an all-round health, beauty, wellness formula.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, so if I could talk to you all day, you're just fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody will link up all together on Instagram and keep in touch. And as I said, if you've got any questions, ping them over to me. I'll collect them and then we'll have another little mushroom debrief. Thanks so much, so.
Lovely to
Thanks for
see you
watching,
all.
everyone. We got there in the
Bye.
end. First live self-care Sunday in a long time. Have a gorgeous rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.